All right, we're back in the kitchen with Chef Laura from Celebrated Cuisine, making a salmon with artichoke caponata. In this segment, you're actually going to start working on this. So we posted this. Did you happen to see this?
I haven't seen the posting.
Our web producer, Patrick, posted that, and he's like, what do you think this is? And you know what, we've got some pretty savvy people that said it's fish scales, but Ashley Brand was the first one to go, it's salmon, it's a salmon fish scale. Wow. Those are some good eyes.
Considered a delicacy by some.
Look, Olivia Newton-John popped up. She's not part of the recipe, but all right. We've sweated our vegetables here just a little bit. We put the whole garlic in so that we can really kind of infuse that flavor over all of the
that would be true.
Veggies. And now what?
Okay, so we're going to add to this our white wine vinegar and our white wine right in there. Okay, and also our tomatoes.
And these were just diced tomato that we pureed, right?
This is just, I bought crushed canned tomato, and you can see the can for it right over there. Okay. We're going to add to this also our sugar, our artichokes.
All of this sugar?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is this doing?
This is balancing the acidity and the sourness of the dish. So a classic caponata is still going to have a sweet and sour component to it. So we definitely want to incorporate that. Okay. And then we're going to go in with our last three ingredients, our chopped up olives, our pine nuts, and our capers. So pretty much every other ingredient in this right now is the classic traditional, what you would find, except for the artichoke hearts. But you could always add those if you wanted to, okay? So we're gonna let this kind of cook down. We want most of our liquid to evaporate. This is what will enable us to make this not just a salsa or a relish, but also a topping for our bruschetta. Exactly. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're all fairly similar. They're considered modern sauces, okay? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna turn my heat down just a touch. Says the classic cookbooks.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because you have your classic sauces like your bechamel, your tomato, your espagnole. Those are classic sauces, and then all your modern sauces are derivatives of those. Okay.
Gotcha.
So, for example, you have a hollandaise, and then you incorporate tarragon and some other things, and now you have a béarnaise. So you get a derivative of that original sauce.
So the béarnaise would be the modern?
That would be the small sauce, or a modern sauce also would be a salsa, just a salsa.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not calling salsa salsa anymore. It's going to be a modern sauce.
A modern sauce. I have a modern sauce on your taco for you, dear. Okay, so now it's time to take care of our salmon. So we've talked a little bit about this earlier. So what we're going to do, this is skin on.
Okay.
So a lot of times we buy our salmon, we aren't expecting it to be skin on. Once this comes out of the oven, I'm going to show you a great technique for getting this skin off. So you can use foil if you want to also. If you want to do this on the grill, exact same technique applies, but you use foil. Definitely don't use parchment.
Want to use parchment paper? I can't understand why.
It depends if you want to meet a fireman or not. If you want to meet a fireman, then use parchment.
If you want a date, then you go ahead and use the parchment paper. If you're not so much into the date thing, you know, you use foil.
All right, rule of thumb for salmon. Salmon's a fatty fish, meaning it's inherently fatty with its omega-3s, omega-6, because all good for you. So we don't need to put a lot of oil or anything else on there. But what my rule of thumb is, for every inch of thickness, it's about 10 minutes of cooking time in high heat. Okay, so in this case,
every inch of thickness, 10 minutes of cooking time on high heat.
Right, and that way you're not going to overcook your salmon, which is such a travesty. You don't want to overcook your fish, please. Please don't. For Chef Laura, don't overcook your fish. So, so what we're going to do is let that do its thing, and then at the same time, we're also going to make our little bruschetta. So I just sliced up some really nice ciabatta bread. This I did drizzle with a tiny bit of olive oil, and we're going to put this in the oven. And you did drizzle the salmon with just the tiniest bit, just the tiniest bit,
and a little tiny bit of salt, kosher salt.
Yes, and what you will see, actually I used fleur de sel because I was feeling fancy. But the other thing too is with your salmon, visual indicator that your salmon is done is when you see a little white liquid begin to leach out of it, and you'll see that
What
today.
is that?
That's actually the natural fat that's in the salmon.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so let's take a peek over here.
Oh, sorry.
And how are we doing on? Yeah, are you shirking your caponata duty?
I am.
Can you say caponata duty 3 times fast?
Caponata duty, maybe not.
All right then. So you can see most of our liquid has evaporated. We'll just raise our heat a little bit more. And this will be done. What's great about this too, it's delicious, hot, cold. You can make it up to 4 days ahead if you want to. And just, you know, kind of challenge you not to want to eat that. Doesn't that smell great?
Oh,
yes, I'm going to rename all my olive-based dishes Sandoval.
Sandoval.
Exactly. The Sandoval sauces.
It's to do with the salt. I have like a major addiction to salt.
Hey, right back at you.
My mother never let me have it growing up. It wasn't in my diet until and then I've kind of discovered it in college, and I haven't been able to put the shaker down since.
Well, that was last year, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right then.